A warm welcome to everyone. Myself, Tanya from the Department of CSC AI. I am from Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering, Bengaluru. So the subject is about digital design and computer organization. The topic is Introduction to Interrupts. So, an interrupt is a signal that tells the operating system to stop its current work and attend to a specific event or a condition. So it is a mechanism by which other modules in the system can interpret the normal CPU execution and request a service from the kernel. Interrupts are essential for allowing hardware to communicate with the CPU and enabling efficient multitasking in a computer system. So interrupts are mainly used to these things. Next is water interrupts. The definition: an interrupt is a mechanism that enables hardware or software to automatically transfer control to a predefined location so that an event can be processed. And it allows the CPU to handle high priority tasks and events in a timely manner. So the next one is the function of an interrupts. So interrupts allow devices or software processes to request attention from the CPU. They help in managing different processes running concurrently and ensure that time critical tasks are handled promptly. So the examples are common examples of interrupts include mouse movements, keyboard inputs, and disk input output request and timer events, and these events trigger interrupts to be processed by the CPU. Next is types of interrupts. There are three types of interrupts. Here is one is external, internal, and software interrupts. So in interrupts, these interrupts are generated externally, usually by hardware devices such as input-output devices, timers, and other peripheral devices. In internal interrupts, they are generated from within the CPU as a result of exceptional conditions such as division by zero or invalid instructions. So in software interrupts, they are generated by executing a specific instruction and are used for invoking system calls or interrupt driven input output operations. Next is hardware interrupts. So the types of hardware interrupts are can be classified into various types based on the source, priority, and mode of operation. So, IRQ lines, hardware interrupts are typically associated with specific interrupt request that is called as IRQ lines, enabling hardware to communicate with the CPU effectively. So, the next one is device interaction. Hardware interrupt Hardware interrupts facilitate interaction between input output devices and the CPU, ensuring efficient data transfer and processing. Next is software interrupts. System calls. Software interrupts are commonly used to implement system calls, allowing user level applications to request services from the kernel. So interrupt driven input output devices. So software interrupts are crucial in implementing interrupt driven input output operations. So enabling efficient communication with the peripherals. So it enables the efficient communication with peripherals. Next is interrupt service routine, which is also known as ISR. So definition and the purpose. The ISR is a specialized function that processes interrupts by acknowledging, handling, and responding to the specific event or condition that triggered the interrupt. So the next one is execution content. An ISR executes in a highly privileged mode and has access to critical resources, enabling it to manage the interrupt and maintain system stability. So these are why ISR used. Next is interrupt handling processes. There are three handling processes mainly. One is interrupt occurrences, another one is interrupt service routine, and the third one is resuming execution. So in first one, an event triggers an interrupt, causing the CPU to suspend its current execution and transfer control to the interrupt handler. So in the second section, the associated ISR processes the interrupt event, performs necessary actions, and prepares the system to resume normal operation. So in the third one, once the ISR completes execution, the CPU resumes its previous task or continues processing pending interrupts. So this is how the handling process of interrupt will be done through a cycle. Next is interrupt latency, microseconds and nanoseconds. So in microseconds, impact on performance. It impacts on the performance. Interrupt latency in the range of microseconds can significantly affect real-time systems, performance and responsiveness. So in nanoseconds, it is a time critical operations where for a certain applications, nanosecond level interrupt latency is crucial for ensuring timely response to crucial events. Next is interrupt priorities. So there are two levels here. One is priority scheme and one is priority levels. So in priority scheme, interrupt priorities define the order in which interrupts are serviced, ensuring that critical tasks are handled promptly. So in priority levels, interrupt priorities are categorized into levels, allowing the system to allocate resources and CPU time based on the criticality of interrupt request. So in levels, it will be based on the criticality of the interrupt request, and in priority scheme, so it is based on the critical tasks are handled promptly or not. The last part is the conclusion. So interrupts plays a fundamental role in computer system, enabling efficient communication between hardware and software components. Understanding the intricacies of interrupt handling is crucial for developing responsive and reliable computing systems. So the main thing of learning interrupt system is to understand the interrupt handling and the crucial for which is very crucial for developing responsive and reliable computing system. So thank you one and all. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity.